There's a particular kind of quiet that lives inside certain people. Not the quiet of someone who's at peace, not the quiet of someone who's given up either. It's something in between. It's the quiet of someone who has been holding themselves together for so long that being held together just became another thing they do automatically. Like breathing, like checking their phone, like saying, "I'm fine," when someone asks. You don't even notice you're doing it anymore. If that landed somewhere specific in your chest just now, stay with me. Because I didn't say that to describe a problem. I said it because that particular kind of quiet is actually a signal, and most people spend years living inside that signal without ever learning how to read it. That's what this is about. Here's something I've noticed, and I want you to sit with this honestly. At some point, most people stop wanting things fully. Not because they gave up, that's not quite it. It's more subtle than that. It's that they learned, through experience, through disappointment, through enough moments of reaching and not quite getting there, they learned to want things at a discount. You know what I mean? You think about something you actually want, a version of your life that feels real to you, that feels like you, and then, almost immediately, before anyone else even has a chance to react, you start negotiating with yourself. You go, maybe something smaller, maybe something more realistic, maybe I should want something I can actually count on. And here's the thing that makes that so hard to catch. It doesn't feel like self-betrayal when you're doing it. It feels like maturity. It feels like you're being responsible with your own hope, protecting yourself. But what you're actually doing is making yourself smaller before life gets the chance to. You're taking the hit preemptively. And after you do that enough times, it stops feeling like a choice. It just becomes the size you live at. That's what prolonged waiting does to a person. Not depression, not hopelessness, just a quiet, automatic shrinking. And almost nobody talks about that specifically because it doesn't look like a crisis from the outside. From the outside, you look fine. From the inside, you're just permanently almost. Before I go further, I want to mention something briefly because I think it's relevant to exactly the person watching this. Over at ManifestTheInfinite.com, we've been putting together in-depth guides specifically for people who are in this kind of in-between space. Not beginner manifestation content, not vision board advice, real, grounded material on identity shifting, self-concept work, and how to actually move through the internal patterns we're talking about right now. If what I'm saying is landing for you today, that's a place worth visiting. ManifestTheInfinite.com. I'll put it in the description. Now here's where I want to say something that I think is genuinely underrated in conversations like this one. Turning points don't feel like turning points when you're inside them. That sounds simple, but I don't think we actually absorb how true it is. We have this image in our heads, this cinematic version of a life-changing moment. Like there's going to be a feeling, some kind of internal signal that says, this is it, pay attention, everything is about to shift. But that's not how it works. That's not how it has ever worked for anyone I've observed closely. Think about it. Think about a moment in your own life that you now recognize as significant, a conversation that redirected you, a decision that looked small at the time, a morning that felt completely ordinary. You didn't know it then. You only understood what it was when you looked back from somewhere further along, which means, and this is the part I really want you to sit with, most people live through their own turning point without recognizing it. They're inside the most important moment of their development, and it just feels like a Tuesday. So the question I keep coming back to, the one that actually matters, is this. What would change in you if you could recognize the turning point while you were still inside it? Not after, not in retrospect, now. Because recognition changes how you move through something. It doesn't hand you the outcome, but it changes your posture. It changes what you're willing to stay open to. And that shift in posture is often the actual mechanism behind what people later call a miracle. I want to be honest with you about something right now, and I need you to receive this without defensiveness, because I'm not saying it to call you out. I'm saying it because I think you already know it, and you've just been waiting for someone to say it out loud. A lot of people who are drawn to content like this, people who study manifestation, who pray, who do the inner work, are living in a state I describe as permanently almost ready, almost believing, almost expecting, almost open, close enough to trying that they don't feel like they've quit, far enough back from full commitment that the fall won't hurt too badly if it doesn't work out again. And I understand that. I genuinely do, because that position didn't come from nowhere. It came from somewhere specific in your history, a moment, maybe more than one, where you went all in on something and it didn't hold, where you believed completely and it still didn't come through, and your nervous system filed that away. It said, going all the way in is dangerous. Stay close, but not too close. So now you're here, spiritually engaged, emotionally present, but with one foot slightly off the floor, ready to catch yourself before you fall. Here's my honest opinion on that. And take it for what it's worth. That position is not protecting you anymore. It was protecting you, past tense. The version of you that needed that guard to survive certain seasons, that was intelligent, that was adaptive. But that same guard, in this season, is costing you more than it's saving, because you can't receive fully from a posture of almost. You can get close, you can see things moving toward you, but something in the last few inches keeps slipping, and you felt that. You know exactly what I'm describing. I want to say something careful here, and I mean careful literally, because this is the part where most videos like this one make a promise they can't keep. They tell you the breakthrough is coming, that the universe has been preparing something, that your time is next. I'm not going to do that. What I will do is point at something specific that I think you've been misreading about yourself. Optimism breaks. That's just a fact. Put enough pressure on optimism and it cracks. Because optimism is essentially a bet on the future, and the future keeps being unpredictable. So when people tell you to stay positive, what they're really asking you to do is keep making a bet that has already lost several times. But you're still here. And that has nothing to do with optimism. What kept you here is something I'd describe as a refusal. Not dramatic, not loud, just a quiet, persistent refusal to fully accept that this is all there is for you. You couldn't prove it was going to get better. You had no evidence. But something in you kept treating the question as still open. That specific thing, that refusal to close the question, is not a personality trait. It's not stubbornness. It's not delusion. It's the only internal condition that makes change actually possible. Because you cannot shift into something new from a position that has already decided the answer. Most people who stay stuck aren't stuck because they lack effort. They're stuck because at some point, after enough disappointment, they quietly close the question. They stopped treating their life as something still being written and started treating it as something already determined. You didn't do that, even when it would have been completely reasonable to. I don't know what that cost you, but I know it costs something. And I think part of why you're watching this right now is because some part of you is trying to figure out whether that cost was worth it. It was. Not because I can see what's coming for you, but because the internal position you've maintained, against real pressure, over real time, is the only position from which anything actually changes. You didn't just survive the hard seasons. You survived them without closing the question. That's not nothing. That's the whole thing. I want to pray with you right now, and I want to be clear about what I mean by that. Because prayer means different things to different people, and I'm not trying to impose a framework on you. What I mean is this. I want to speak out loud the thing that you have been carrying privately, because some things need to be said before they can move. You have been living at a distance from your own expectations for a long time now. Not because you gave up, you didn't, but because you learned, through specific and real experiences, that wanting something completely is dangerous, that full belief is a liability, that hope, held too openly, just gives disappointment a clearer target. That was a reasonable conclusion to reach. Given what you went through, it made sense. But that conclusion is now older than the evidence that created it. The experiences that taught you to hold back, they happened, they were real, but they are not still happening. And you have been applying a lesson from a chapter that already ended to a chapter that hasn't been written yet. So this is me, speaking directly to whatever in you is still standing at that distance, saying, you can come forward now, not because everything is guaranteed, not because the road is suddenly clear, but because the distance itself is the only thing still in the way. You don't need more preparation. You don't need more proof. You need to stop treating your own life like something you're not sure you're allowed to walk into fully. Walk into it. I said at the beginning that there's a particular kind of quiet that lives inside certain people. I didn't say it was a problem. I said it was a signal. Here's what it's been signaling. Not that you're behind. Not that you missed something. Not that you need to try harder or believe more completely or find the right method. It's been signaling that you are someone who has not yet been given an accurate account of what you've actually survived. And what surviving it without closing the question says about where you actually are. This video is that account. You don't have to do anything with it right now. You don't have to feel different. You don't have to be certain. You just have to let it be true.